Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the weekly forecast for the week of February 26th through March 4th. It is not solely set to those dates though. If you're seeing it on a different date and it makes sense, by all means, utilize the reading for you. At that time, I do believe readings can be timeless and they, find us when we need them. Each card should represent for a day or two during the week for those of you that watch regularly. Some of you may experience one of these cards, all of these cards, and then some. It's really kind of a take what you need and leave the rest. It gives us an idea of what the sort of theme or underpinning energies of the week will be. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't fit, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's broken or wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily or weekly readings. In there is what decks I'm using, some housekeeping rules I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, how to contact me via social media if you want to book a private reading or follow me online. Know that I will never reach out to you to solicit you for a reading, so if anybody ever does, don't listen to them. What else? Oh, and easy ways to support the channel. You can do that by hitting the thumbs up button if you enjoy the content, subscribing to the channel if you feel so inclined, sharing the video out, and leaving me a question or comment. All of that is greatly appreciated. Alright, so let's get into this and see what the cards want us to know. Because we'll be switching months, we'll be, saying goodbye to one deck in the middle of the week and moving into a new deck, so that'll be fun and interesting too. Alright, so let's see, what do we need to know? Oh, and again, I say this all the time, this is a broad spectrum all signs reading, so I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. All right. Okay, there's that. I'm going to do the second deck too, just because I feel like I want to, just to get a little head start on these shuffles. And remember that these cards, this healing mantra card will underpin for the entirety of the week. So it's like a theme for the week that we need to keep in the back of our mind. Oh, interesting. I'm down for that. Okay, so let's get into this, and I'll start to do the clarifiers as I talk. So at the beginning of the week, we have, I love it, the Empress. She's associated with the planet Venus, which is closely aligned with the sign of Taurus, right? The Empress is about divine feminine creativity, right? She is major arcana. We've been seeing a lot of major arcana in the last, I want to say 2 weeks of readings, which is nice. It's a nice way to end out February. She's about Mother Earth, right? That kind of connection to nature, connection to fertility. And fertility doesn't necessarily mean, it can mean obvious, childbirth, but also fertility in the sense of ideas, desires. She has a nurturing, energy to her in that Mother Earth sort of way. She has, because she's so closely associated with Venus, there's also a love of beauty with her, right? Finding the beautiful in maybe the mundane, or, some of us could be at the beginning of this week sprucing up our home space or our workspace, adding personal touches that bring, maybe a smile or joy to ourselves. She's also a very deserving card, right? She is the Empress. She's the highest sort of female archetype, or I would say her and the High Priestess are the two highest female archetypes in the tarot, right? So she is kind of like the best attributes of the 4 queens of all 4 suits rolled up into one. She is about, I think that there's this, honestly, when I look at this, I feel like this is about where we put our energy at the beginning of the week and how we put it, if that makes sense. Like that it's done from a place of compassion, love, joy, and our own joy, with a focus of our own joy, our own love, our own harmony, our own bliss. Using this energy to kind of focus on that and give that to ourselves first and foremost. If others benefit from that in the process, great. You know, the Empress is all about that. She is a provider in that way. But, you know, and this isn't a selfish statement, but she's going to serve herself first and foremost, or she understands what she deserves, right? She's also the third card of the major arcana, which to me, I always think of three as the, you know, the balance of mind, body, spirit. She, to me, is a very strong, stable, because she's kind of associated with the sign of Taurus. To me, she's a very strong, stable, yet loving, kind, nurturing energy. If we channel this or tap into this, we have the power to kind of create, you know, whatever sort of things make us happy in our world, whatever brings us more joy, more beauty, more peace, more connection in our world, right? In the early part of this week. Utilizing her energy kind of sets the tone for us to, I don't know why I keep seeing like us, you know, maybe we're sprucing up our home space. I just keep hearing that. I don't know if there's anything that you guys have been thinking about doing in regards to that. She's got, to me, I'm getting this very cozy, snuggly kind of vibe. You know, there can be some self-care with the Empress. She's not necessarily always associated with that, but I could definitely see that for us. And I mean self-care in a very, not like we're all a wreck and need it, but it's just well deserved. Does that make sense? And so taking that time out in the early part of the week to kind of rest, rejuvenate, beautify yourself, your surroundings, your relationships, your connections, all of that, that would be her department. And she's good at that, right? She has skill in that. There's an opportunity here for us to grow things in a very beautiful and compassionate way that can be extremely powerful and beneficial, is my opinion. Let's go to the midweek card and see. Okay, we have the Ten of Wands. Whatever the Empress is working on, I'm just going to say this is a really beautiful Ten of Wands, I have to say that. Whatever the Empress is working on, or whatever beauty we're trying to channel in the beginning of the week, right? Or wherever we're trying to create more harmony, peace, joy in our life, in the midweek, to me, this Ten of Wands feels like we are making decisions about things that maybe aren't harmonious anymore, things that we might need to let go, things that we might need to say goodbye to or just depart from. The Ten of Wands is oftentimes a man covered, like carrying a bunch of sticks and like a bunch of wands on his back. And it has like a dual meaning. It can be the release of a burden, but it can also be like almost being at the finish line or almost at the completion of something. Wands being that of the spirit. This feels to me like, you know, the Empress knows what she wants. She knows how she wants it. She knows what she needs from a very like beneficial and beautiful place. The Ten of Wands would be about our spirit maybe calling out and going, does this still really align with what we were creating at the beginning of the week? Does that make sense? And so, and the interesting thing about this particular card is that the way the wands are set up, how they're crossing him in all those different directions, and then there's that light in the center. To me, that light represents like a truth around a situation, a relationship, a person. You know, if some of you, maybe your job, something at work, whatever it is, there's a truth or a light that's coming or emanating from this burden, let's say, or from this situation. You'll all be dealing with a different situation that by the midweek, we really see it for what it is, because it's not in alignment with that Empress energy. But it's that Empress energy at the beginning of the week that almost enables us to face this burden in the midweek and clear it out, release it, tie up loose ends with it, I don't get a bad feeling from this. I get actually like a freedom or like if there's something that we've been avoiding or not addressing, because the Empress is so sort of focused on her own well-being and nurturing of self and all of that, we kind of have to look at the thing. It's like it almost feels like this Ten of Wands is the elephant in the room, right? That we maybe haven't addressed or wanted to talk about. We're now finally ready to address it in the midweek. I don't get a feeling that this is bad. I get a feeling that there's actually like some energy, some truth, some light involved in this inventory, this addressing, this release that will actually lighten us, right? It's almost like, to me, it feels like the Empress is calling out, the energy of the Empress is calling out whatever is the thing in our life that we've been avoiding or not addressing. Now is the time in the midweek. Let's look at the end of the week card. Oh, wow. Three of Swords. Beautiful Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be about heartache, betrayal, usually relationships-wise is how I see it, because there's always those three swords through that heart. But swords are also how we communicate and the thoughts that we think. Usually the Three of Swords is a very sort of sad card, or a card of, heartbreak. To me, I feel like the clear crystal of this heart, right? The glass, the clarity of this heart, is there's a truth in either what we're communicating or what we're thinking around potentially whatever this Ten of Wands is that we're releasing or that we're addressing. I actually get that. And the funny thing is the mountain behind the heart says to me, we're getting beyond whatever this is. The Three of Swords indicates that whatever that Ten of Wands may be for you, it does cause like grievance, sadness, or it has caused grievance, sadness, pain, struggle within you mentally and quite possibly emotionally. But I feel like this is about us getting clarity around it, getting beyond it, feeling the feelings. Even though Swords is not about feelings, our thoughts are helping us to like almost manage the feelings and move forward with more clarity. The other thing I want to say about this is the Empress is the number 3 card, and I said that thing earlier in the reading about the mind, body, spirit coming into alignment. And this Three of Swords indicates that maybe our thoughts or what we begin to communicate is now more in alignment with ourselves, even if it is painful or has brought us pain, whatever this shift or change is with this Ten of Wands, if that makes any sense. Now, and it does make sense to me, and this next card with the healing mantra, it makes a lot more sense. So here is the healing mantra card. Let me show it to you. It is discovering happiness. This is our goal this week. This is the underpin for the week. What makes the Empress happy? And then addressing in the midweek what is blocking us from that happiness or weighing us down, holding us back, not allowing us to have it, and releasing that. And in that release, there may be some sadness or some reconfiguration of how we think or what we communicate, but there's a truth and a clarity in this glass heart. And also the mountain being behind us, meaning we're getting beyond this. We are discovering what makes us happy. We're moving towards that. The Empress is sort of pushing us towards that this week. Like there's no, like we don't have a choice in the matter is my feeling. All right, let me read this to you. I allow myself to be content exactly as I am. And what I like about that phrase is that even if there is sort of sadness or past pain, we can easily address it or have it and allow ourselves to be exactly where we're at. That's maybe the clarity that we see in the heart there. And we can still move beyond it and create happiness, beauty, joy while we transform situations or depart from situations or let situations go or end, right? We can still find that happiness and be content with wherever we are in that moment. We still have sort of power, strength, um, empathy, compassion for ourselves and maybe whatever the situation is or the relationship may be or the other party or whatever it is that you're dealing with. We still have that and can communicate that, but we can do that from a kind of a place where we're focused on our own, attaining our own happiness. And that may be what's causing us to kind of have to address this Ten of Wands thing in the midweek. So I allow myself to be content exactly as I am. When happiness is discovered, you are inspired, excited, and passionate about the gift of being alive. There's a willingness to open your heart to the mystery of each moment, whether you're getting what you want or witnessing unexpected outcomes. The discovery of happiness frees you from needing life to bring you more of this or less of that. The true joy of being yourself has dawned. This mantra is ideal for facing disappointment. That could be the Three of Swords, two guys. Developing self-approval and feeling fulfilled. So even if some of the release of this Ten of Wands causes us to feel a little bit of heartbreak, we're okay to address that heartbreak and move beyond it. Or maybe even sit in it and still find contentment and achieve happiness in the process, even if the process might be painful for some. So let's go to the clarifiers and see what they have to say. We have the Six of Wands. And to me, I'm just going to say this before I do the other two clarifiers. It's interesting, the Ten of Wands is in the midweek. The Six of Wands is a celebration. The Six of Wands is about being honored or being seen and acknowledged, being celebrated. Maybe rallying for ourselves, treating ourselves with that Empress energy as if we are the Empress allows us to address the Ten of Wands, and we will be successful. We will move forward lighter, with more recognition of our achievements or what we've been through, a better awareness of who we are and why things were the way they were or how they happened or whatever. That's just kind of the feeling I'm getting. Let me go to the next card. We have the Chariot. That's Cancerian energy. Also Major Arcana. This is about forward movement. Wherever we're going this week, or how do I want to put this? Whatever the Empress has set her sights on, it doesn't allow us to take everything with us the way that it is right now. And the Chariot is also another card of empowerment, movement, even also celebration. This is, depicted as a parade, and the Chariot would obviously be in a parade, usually at the end of the parade with the king or the, emperor or whomever waving from the Chariot, right? And we have the Empress here. So to me, I feel like this is about forward movement and really looking at, does this make me happy? Is this in alignment with my own joy? Is this in alignment with my own, does this beautify my life? Do I connect to it in that way? And if not, we need to release it and then move forward. And then the last card is the Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. I'm just going to spit this out there. Some of you might end up single this week, and that's okay. Or, whoever sees this reading, whenever you see it. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of pretty much total independence. Having everything that you need at your fingertips, but maybe not necessarily the relationship, right? So if anybody's looking at this from a perspective of some sort of a relationship where you're having an issue within a relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, familial, there could be something that we can no longer not see or not look at. And in relying upon ourselves, discovering what makes us happy, looking at maybe sitting in the heartache or addressing the heartache and moving beyond that, we will be okay, right? We will be, to me, when I talk about I think I've told you guys about my theory about the three Brady sisters in the tarot. There's Marcia, who is the Empress, the oldest Brady sister. Jan is the Queen of Pentacles. And then the Cindy Brady is the Nine of Pentacles. So she is like the Empress's little sister. Where I think the Empress is trying to lead us, or where her focus is when she starts to like focus us on what makes us happy, what brings us joy and beauty into our lives. In pursuing that, it kind of makes the things that don't make us happy or don't bring us joy all the more glaring in a way. And so we may have to address them, release them, feel the feels, think the thoughts, and then reconfigure and move forward. As we do so, though, we will do so from a place that's balanced, grounded, self-assured is my feeling with that Nine of Pentacles, right? And honestly, with the Six of Wands and the Chariot, it says that like the decisions, the choices, the movements we choose to make this week, even if others don't like them, they really are the right movements. They're the correct movements for us in whatever situation we're making decisions around. But those decisions need to be focused on this idea of not only being content and happy with where you are in that given moment, but also what brings you future happiness, future independence, future self, assurance. And we certainly with the Six of Wands and the Chariot here, we deserve it, and the Empress for that matter, right? We deserve it, and we need to honor that within ourselves in everything that we do this week. As whatever we focus on and what we move towards, the decisions we make, the conversations we have, that needs to be our focus. All right, let's go to the grounding stone. And the grounding, interesting. The grounding stone is respect. All right, so for this week, by focusing or grounding in this idea of respect, it's about self-respect first and foremost. That's the Empress's energy all over the place. But also, we can have, when we respect ourselves, we're able to respect the situations around us, the others involved in situations. This is really about my feeling is this week is about holding ourselves to not a higher standard, but like how do I want to put this? It's almost like respecting ourselves enough to give ourselves the opportunity to move forward towards what we love, what brings us joy, what makes us happy, and towards our own independence, regardless of what anybody else says or regardless of what any other situation like provides us with. This idea of respect is, when we have self-respect, it kind of, I'm seeing like, you throw the pebble in the water and it ripples out, the ripple effect goes out. So even if like there are naysayers around us or, people that don't agree or situations that seem contradictory or offering conflict, we need to keep this focus on this idea of respect and respect ourselves. And in doing so, we're still respecting whatever it is that we're dealing with, letting go of, facing in the mid and the end of the week. We're going to do so strongly and successfully with these three clarifiers. And it's going to lead us to a place of, we may not, because that Nine of Pentacles makes me feel like we may not have like the popular opinion in some of these situations, whatever you guys are dealing with. But for us, it's the right decision or the right opinion. And that's really all that matters here. And to respect that. And in doing so, you're also kind of respecting others. I know that it may not make sense, but that's what it feels like. In other words, when we take care of ourselves first and foremost, only then it has a ripple effect out towards others, even if like I get this feeling that there's like naysayers or people like going like, no, I don't want you to do that, or no, that's not correct, or what, and it's not the case. What's correct is respecting ourselves, our own truth, our own desires, our own honoring ourselves, right? That's the Six of Wands also. That's the Chariot. And pursuing that. This is going to be a beautiful week, I have a feeling, for focusing on our own goals and putting those first and pursuing our own happiness, and doing so without, like, I feel like we could be hindered, right? Or there's going to be this is what it is. There's going to be attempts at hindrance, but they will not be successful. Let's just say that. Even if at certain points towards the end of the week, we feel sad, or we feel a little bit of heartbreak, or we have some like second thoughts, or like, oh, should I have done that? Or why did they do that to me? Or this, that, and the other. None of that will really matter. We're still going to move forward. We're still going to honor ourselves. We're still going to pursue what makes us happy this week. What, we are in alignment to, and ground in that. I hope that makes sense, you guys. That is your reading for the week. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we'll watch how the cards play out and see what, continues to transpire. This should be an awesome week, I have a feeling. All right, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.